Hello everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at the sweep feature in Autodesk Inventor. For reference, this is located under the 3D Model tab and under the Create panel. Now to use this, all we're going to need is a simple 2D sketch and then some sort of path for it to follow. So I'm going to be going over multiple examples. The first, I'm just going to do a simple rectangle. We can make this 10 by 15, doesn't really matter. Just you need something. Now make sure it's fully constrained before we continue, and we'll hit Finish Sketch. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to need a path for this to follow. So we're going to create another 2D sketch. Now it's important here that you connect the path to the sketch. So we're just going to use the origin for reference here, and now this can just be a simple line. And there you go. That's all we need to start off. We can hit the sweep tool, and as you can see, it automatically selects this. But if it doesn't, you'll just have to click your profile, select your profile and your path, and click on the path you want. And as you can see, it takes this face that we created and sweeps it along the path. Now here, I'll do another example of a shape that's a little bit more complicated. We can do another one of, let's say, a circle. Again, we'll want to make sure this is fully constrained. Fully constrained, there we go. And now we're going to want to do another sketch. Again, we're just going to want to do a simple line, making sure it's connected to our first sketch. And there we go. Now we can use a couple of different features with this. You notice that there is the taper and twist features. The taper feature makes the final shape bigger than the original shape. Now for the twist, you can change this to degrees to make it a little bit easier. I'll flip this around so you can see it. The twist feature twists the end shape about the path that we already created. So if we hit 180 degrees, you can see that it'll twist around this path at 180 degrees. Now, one of the most useful parts of this is to create a pipe-like feature. So again, we're just going to do a simple circle, and we're going to make sure it's fully constrained. And there we are. Now, to get this pipe-like shape, we're going to be doing something a little different with the path. Now, we're going to start off with a simple line. But then we're going to create something a little bit different. We're going to create an arc. So we're going to make this 25, and that's going to be 135 degrees. And we'll give it a radius of 20. Then we'll create a simple line. We'll make that 20 long, making sure it's at the right degrees. And you can see we're already fully constrained, so we can hit Finish Sketch. And we can hit Sweep again. This time it did not select our path for us right away, so we'll have to go into the Path tool and select it. There's two other features you might notice right here under the orientation. The first is the path. That will make sure that every single face, you'll see multiple circles throughout, is perpendicular to the path. The second is parallel. It does the exact opposite, where it creates paths that are parallel to it. Now to get that feature to show, we'll just have to edit this sketch a little bit. We'll just get one arc instead. We'll just make one arc this time. Make it a little bit easier to see. And again, we'll hit Sweep. Now here we can use the Parallel tool, so you can see that every single circle on it is parallel to the beginning sketch that we created. Now there's one last feature that we can use with the Sweep tool, and that is creating a guide rail. So let's start off with, let's do a half circle. make it a little bit more complicated. 20. And then we'll set the radius to 10. Here's our half circle. We'll connect it with a line. And there we go, fully constrained. Now for this path, we're going to be doing something a little different. Again, we'll start here, and we're going to be creating what's called a path and guide rail. So for the first, we're just going to select our path. We'll make that 80 long. And now we're going to be creating a guide rail, which is a bit different. So we're going to play around with this a little bit. Make that 20. And we're going to create an arc here. Now we're just going to change this up a little bit. Oops. We're just going to create these as equal. Then we're just going to set this 40. And we're going to dimension this at 20. Now we're just going to finish up making sure these are fully constrained. And what are we missing? Alright. And there we go. Now, when using the sweep tool, to use a guide rail, we'll need to go under the type box and hit path and guide rail. So for the path, we're going to select our simple line, and now for the guide rail, we're going to select this new arc shape that we created. And as you can see, it'll extend this half circle throughout the guide rail that we created. Now, with this profile scaling, we can change it so that it extends throughout the x-axis and the y. We can change it just on the x-axis so it never goes above or below on the y-axis, or we can just hit none, and then it'll act as if the guide rail isn't even there. Alright, thanks for watching. That's it for the sweep feature in Autodesk Inventor.